And like I said, after a couple minutes of research, you realize this shit is completely fake. But it's like,
yeah, had a feeling. Yeah, pretty much had a feeling on that. I ain't gonna lie, because why would anyone be trying to get in any type of relative closeness, like within social distancing range, and or even want to becoming having contact with EDP445 diddler? I think not. Not even if that would be good content. Nah. We gonna keep the diddler over where he's at. I ain't gonna lie. You already know what it is, baby. Boy shaking this time around. Yeah, y'all saw Tom thumbnail. Yeah, apparently some sort of boxing match, some sort of matchup is supposed to be happening between EDP445 and Jidion. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I believe that this show is really gonna happen. I highly doubt it. But yeah, I'm not even about to waste time. We just about to hop into it because this is already crazy enough as it is. So let's do it. Shout out Plubius. We had covered Plubius the last time he had covered it on EDP when EDP got banned again. Thank God. But like, yeah, you already know what it is. We got Let's Talk About EDP445 versus Jidion boxing match. If you guys want to watch the OG vid, down in the description, first link, go show the love to Plubius. And let's get right into it, baby. But, yeah. Pathetic, yeah.
Hit that shit, EDP.
Yeah, pathetic.
Hit that shit, EDP.
alright, so we got a bit of a goofy, dumb video today, and that's mostly because anyone actually believes this is true. I know this is kind of making its rounds on the EDP subreddit, not to mention I saw a couple Twitter posts talking about this. And like I said, after a couple minutes of research, you realize this shit is completely fake. But it's like,
yeah, had a feeling. Yeah, pretty much had a feeling on that. I ain't gonna lie, because why would anyone be trying to get in any type of relative closeness, like within social distancing range, and or even want to becoming having contact with EDP445 diddler? I think not. Not even if that would be good content. Nah. We gonna keep the diddler over where he's at. I ain't gonna lie. E diddler P, but like I ain't gonna clap. That joke's got me funny. But either way, regardless of the genre, that would still be platforming him doing this bot-forming match, like doing this boxing match, and that's a no-no. That's an absolute no-no.
Like so fake, it's actually kind of hilarious, and I do want to talk about it. And that is apparently EDP445, the Walking Whale, R Belly, whatever you guys want to call him, whatever his stage name is going to be, is apparently going to be boxing Jidion in a up-and-coming brand risk fight. Now, if you guys don't know what brand risk is, it's essentially Aiden Ross's boxing event where he takes, obviously brand risks, right? Like online personalities who are a bit edgy or, weird, and he gets them to box each other. Right, that's literally the entire event, and a lot of people are saying that apparently EDP is set to fight Jidion at the up-and-coming one. Only ever found 2 posts talking about this, and nowhere on the actual brand risk promotional page do they actually talk about this whatsoever, and no one actually is even bringing this event up. But let's go over it anyways because it's funny. So this is one of the Twitter accounts that posted it saying Aiden Ross had DDG and Myron fighting at brand risk.
Yo, are they actually fighting? I would actually want to see this.
And if you actually click on the image that they posted, I mean, it clearly seems like it's Photoshop, but apparently
I'm an idiot. If this John is fake, of course. I mean, I don't know, though. Honestly, no. Honestly, no. I'm not that dumb. Because if you saw that one clip of DDG talking about Myron in the last video with your feed that we watched a minute ago, like, yo, DDG was saying like with Fresh, like, yo, yeah, man's is fake, yada, this, that, and the third. Like, it really seemed like there was some beef there. So, like, yo, if that fight ever does happen, hey, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be there to see it.
You have Sneeko and Fresh as the main card. Then the undercards are Myron versus DDG, Logan Paul versus Martin.
This is obviously fake.
You have Zinma versus Frank. You have Nikan.
Is this fucking Neon's girl, Sam Frank? What the
versus
fuck?
Zerka. You have Oblivion versus
Zerka. Nah, nigga, you damn near a diddler too, nigga.
Island Boy. You have EDP versus Jidion.
Isn't one of these niggas in jail?
And then you have Namir versus Osiris.
Oh, so both niggas who fell the fuck off. Yeah, nah, this card is bullshit for sure.
Now, obviously, I think it's pretty funny how they're going to have two Predators on this card. You know, one being Zerka, another one being EDP.
See, I'm about to say, nigga, aren't you a diddler, Zerka? I remember that shit you did with Heel Mike, nigga. I didn't forget that shit.
That's pretty funny. But a dead giveaway that this is fake, if you guys couldn't tell already, is none of the influencers who are on these cards are actually promoting this whatsoever. Exactly. You hear nothing from Zerka. You hear nothing.
As much as I hate Logan Paul's stupid ass, like, that nigga's platform is massive. He's not fighting on fucking Aiden Ross's kick brand risk card. Like, that shit is dead. That nigga's in a WWE.
From like, Logan Paul, right? Logan Paul is obviously a pretty big name. You think he'd be talking about it.
Yeah, like,
you know, even though the Island Boys aren't very relevant, I even checked their page and they're not talking about it. You know, I even
bro, that's what I'm saying. I literally broke down. Hold on, where were we at? 213. This whole shit, I literally broke it down. How I know all this shit is fake. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Again, Myron DDG, bro. This shit could have potentially been a real thing, but obviously it's clearly not happening. We all know it's fake. Logan Paul's too big of a brand. So same thing with Bradley Martin with the whole plot. Like, this shit is not happening. Like, bro, Sam Frank is not fucking fighting, bro. Like, that shit is dead. Zerka's a PDF file damn near, so that shit is dead. The Island Boys, one of the niggas is in jail, so it really depends on which one you're talking about. This shit is clearly dead video. And then these two niggas completely fell the fuck off. Soul Trade, like, nah, get this shit out of here. Like, nah, this shit is cut out, yeah. Like, what the fuck?
Onto the official brand risk promotional page on Twitter, and they haven't announced anything, and you think that would be like the first thing they would pin is if they got a full card ready to go for the next event. But yeah, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the idea of EDP fighting Jidion. Two people I dislike. Obviously, one I dislike more than the other. But two people I genuinely dislike fighting each other. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. And there's also some...
We just came off the thing with Jidion with the whole paywall and the EDP watch, which, if you don't know, that's like, you know what I'm saying? He obviously does, you know, like... Predators things and all that type junk, but it's like he's selling, like, you know what I'm saying, the behind the scenes paywall content or whatever, like, you know, uncensored messages, yada yada, stuff like that. We had a whole discourse, made 2 videos about that, so if you want to know more about that, go watch them. But yeah, that's whole junk going on. But within these two heads, like, yeah, within these two figures, obviously they got their own history between obviously EDP and Jidion. Like, it would be very fucking hilarious to see it, but in no way, in shape or form, can EDP be platformed. Hell no.
Beef there. You know, you obviously have Jidion, who named an entire creep catching segment on his channel called EDP Watch, and then also, you know, the botched sting operation that he did on EDP. So you can imagine EDP's pretty pissed off. But there's no way in hell EDP's ever getting in a boxing ring. No way. Also, there's no way in hell they would ever let him. Yeah. He has kidney failure. I think that's a big thing a lot of people forget.
You talk about the health aspect. I really talk about in terms of like platform and rep. Like, you would be platforming EDP445. That is a fucking horrible look.
This, I think, is somewhat of a legit boxing event to a certain extent. I think they do have some official referees and stuff and scorers. So I don't think they're going to let a guy who has stage 5 kidney failure into the boxing ring, right? Let alone a predator, right? But we're going to ignore that fact.
Like, no, a fucking pred? Yeah, I don't think so.
For the sake of the fact that he just has kidney failure and he's not going to be able to compete anyways. Even though it would be funny... And like I said, it would be extremely entertaining to watch EDP and Jidion go at it, even though I think EDP would last like 2 seconds. Not because I think Jidion's like that much better, right? Jidion, you know, has put on some...
like, he might enter the ring and then the fight is over.
Chunk in his days as well. But EDP is just so overweight that he's going to get exhausted after 5 seconds, right? And not to mention, he's not brave enough to go into a boxing ring, right? He's always talking shit about how if you pull up on him, you know, he's going to pull out his gun or some shit, but that's never going to happen, let alone him putting on boxing mitts. You know, I just thought it was funny how anyone thought this shit was actually real when you can easily take like 2 seconds of research to just look up any of these content creators and see that none of them are promoting it.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I went into this, John. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure this shit, like, yeah, I like, this shit cannot be real. There's no way in hell. Like, it just, like, logistically and optically, this makes no fucking sense. Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck, like.
But anyways, yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. Obviously, if you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe. Also, if you guys want to join the Discord, the link will be in the description down below, and down there you'll find my Twitch and my Twitter if you want to give your boy a follow. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next YouTube video.
Stamped. Yo, man, like I always be saying, shout out Plubius. Share that love. Let's talk about EDP445 versus Jidion boxing match. Like I said, if you guys want to watch the OG video, that boy will be down in the description. First link, you know what I'm saying? Go show the love to Plubius. Final opinions and conjecture. Real life just coming off what Plubia said, like, yeah, this shit is like clearly was not gonna be a real John. I ain't gonna lie. And even for me in the intro, like for a little bit, thinking like, oh man, maybe nah, that shit was dead. Like we should have been knew this shit, because again, EDP is a fucking PDF file. Goddamn PDF. Nigga don't even know which buttons. But yeah, nah, the nigga is a fucking PDF file, bro. We can't be platforming this nigga, having this nigga out here. And then obviously, like Publius was also saying, like, bro, nigga, EDP's health condition is probably the worst I've ever seen in existence. I ain't gonna lie, seriously, nah. But EDP wouldn't be able to do this shit at all. And then I'm sure Jidion doesn't want to be touched by that nigga. I don't think anyone on this planet wants to. Dear God. But yo, coming up all that, y'all already know what it is. This boxing night shit not gonna happen, so but we been knew that. But yeah, again, shout out Plubius, go share the love, and I'm finna catch y'all on a flip, baby. Peace.